Therapadana.
The Legends of the Theras. Kumudamāliya Chapter the 18th. 171. Kumudamāliya. In the Himalayan mountains, there was a large natural lake. I was a Rakshasa born there, of frightful form having great strength. White lotuses were blooming there, arising just as big as wheels, and I then picked those lotuses. The strong one's group was there then too. But Ekadīpiya, blessed one, the biped lord, the bull of men, seeing that those flowers were picked, did come into my presence then. The god of gods, the bull of men, the Sanghupatthaka approached me then, picking up all of those flowers. I gave them all to the Buddha. That company then stretched out to the ends of the Himalayas, with a canopy over him. The thus gone one did journey forth. In the 1800 eons, since I offered that flower to him, I've come to know no bad rebirth. That's the fruit of Udapānadāyaka. In the 15th aeon ago, there were 7 lords of people, will-turning kings with great power, all known as Sīhasanadāyaka, the 4 analytical modes, and these 8 deliverances, 6 special knowledges mastered. I have done what the Buddha taught. Thus indeed Venerable Kumudamāliya Thera spoke these verses. The legend of Kumudamāliya Thera is finished. (172). Nissenidāyaka. I had a stairway constructed for ascending up the palace of Koa, the blessed one, the world's best one, the neutral one. Due to that pleasure in my heart, having attained great happiness, I am bearing my last body. In the Supreme Buddha's teaching, in the 31,000th aeon, there were 3 people at that time, kings who turned the wheel of the law, all named Pahasambahola, the 4 analytical modes, and these 8 deliverances, 6 special knowledges mastered. I have done what the Buddha taught. Thus indeed Venerable Nissenidāyaka Thera spoke these verses. The legend of Nissenidāyaka Thera is finished.
Rattipupphiya.
I was a deer hunter back then, within a grove in the forest. I saw Vipassana Buddha then, the god of gods, the bull of men, having seen red flowers blooming on a winter cherry tree then, having taken them with their stems, I offered them to the great sage. In the 91 eons since I offered those flowers to him, I've come to know no bad rebirth. That's the fruit of giving flowers. And in the 8th aeon ago, I was a monarch with great strength, with the name of Sīhasanadāyaka, possessor of the 7 gems, the 4 analytical modes, and these 8 deliverances, 6 special knowledges mastered. I have done what the Buddha taught. Thus indeed Venerable Rattipupphiya Thera spoke these verses. The legend of Rattipupphiya Thera is finished. (174). Udapānadāyaka. For Vipassana, the blessed one, I constructed a water well, having given alms food to him. I dedicated the well then, in the 91 eons since. I did that good karma back then. I've come to know no bad rebirth. That is the fruit of giving wells, the 4 analytical modes, and these 8 deliverances, 6 special knowledges mastered. I have done what the Buddha taught. Thus indeed Venerable Udapānadāyaka Thera spoke these verses. The legend of Udapānadāyaka Thera is finished. (175). Sīhasanadāyaka. When the world's Lord reached nirvana, Pajamuttara, the leader, I gave a lion throne to him, with a pleased heart and happy mind, bringing happiness to the world, with very fragrant flowers then. Having done a puja there, I did bring relief to many folks, with a pleased heart and happy mind, worshipping that superb Bodhi, for 100,000 eons. I've come to know no bad rebirth. In the 15,000th aeon, there were 8 different people, monarchs who turned the wheel of law, all known by the name Sīhasanadāyaka, the 4 analytical modes, and these 8 deliverances, 6 special knowledges mastered. I have done what the Buddha taught. Thus indeed Venerable Sīhasanadāyaka Thera spoke these verses. The legend of Sīhasanadāyaka Thera is finished. 176. Maggadattika, Enomadasi, Blessed One, the biped Lord, the bull of men, bringing happiness to the world, walked back and forth across the sky, happy with pleasure in my heart, worshipping I scattered flowers. The flowers stayed on his raised feet, also on the top of his head. In the 20,000th aeon, there did live 5 different people, all named Upapakadania, will turning kings with great power, the 4 analytical modes, and these 8 deliverances, 6 special knowledges mastered. I have done what the Buddha taught. Thus indeed Venerable Maggadattika Thera spoke these verses. The legend of Maggadattika Thera is finished. 177. Ekadīpiya. With a pleased heart and happy mind, I gave a single lamp back then, at the superb Sala Bodhi, of the sage Pajamuttara, transmigrating in existence, reborn with great heaps of merit. I've come to know no bad rebirth. That is the fruit of a lamp gift. In the 16,000th aeon, there were these 4 different men then, all known by the name Kandaba, will turning kings with great power, the 4 analytical modes, and these 8 deliverances, 6 special knowledges mastered. I have done what the Buddha taught. Thus indeed Venerable Ekadīpiya Thera spoke these verses. The legend of Ekadīpiya Thera is finished. 178. Manipūjaka, a small Himalayan river, flowed smoothly then along its bank. Back then the self become one dwelt, in a field close to that river. With a pleased heart and happy mind, I gave to the Buddha right then, a couch made by taking gemstones, superb, delightful, and diverse. In the 94 eons since, I offered those gemstones to him. I've come to know no bad rebirth. That's the fruit of Buddha Puja. And in the 12th aeon ago, there were 8 different kings back then. All were known as Satarasi, will turning monarchs with great strength. The 4 analytical modes, and these 8 deliverances, 6 special knowledges mastered. I have done what the Buddha taught. Thus indeed Venerable Manipūjaka Thera spoke these verses. The legend of Manipūjaka Thera is finished. 179. Tikicchaka. In the city Bandamati, I was a well-trained physician, bringing many folks happiness, when patients suffered great illness. Having seen a monk who was sick, but moral as too very bright, with a pleased heart and happy mind, I gave him some medicine then. That monk with well-guarded senses became healthy because of that. He was Vipassi's attendant, known by the name of Asoka. In the 91 eons since, I gave him medicinal herbs. I've come to know no bad rebirth. That is the fruit of medicine. In the 8th aeon after that, the one known as Sabasada was a wheel-turner with great strength, possessor of the 7 gems, the 4 analytical modes, and these 8 deliverances, 6 special knowledges mastered. I have done what the Buddha taught. Thus indeed Venerable Tikicchaka Thera spoke these verses. The legend of Tikicchaka Thera is finished. 180. Sanghupatthaka. When Vesabu was the Buddha, I was a forest dweller then. With a pleased heart and happy mind, I did serve the best assembly. In the 31 eons since, I did that good karma back then. I've come to know no bad rebirth. That's the fruit of doing service. In the 7th aeon ago, there were 7 Samattatas, will turning kings with great power, possessors of the 7 gems, the 4 analytical modes, and these 8 deliverances, 6 special knowledges mastered. I have done what the Buddha taught. Thus indeed Venerable Sanghupatthaka Thera spoke these verses. The legend of Sanghupatthaka Thera is finished. The summary: Kumudamāliya then Nissenidāyaka, Udapānadāyaka, Sīhasani, Maggadattika, Ekadīpiya, Manipūjaka, Tikicchaka, Udapānadāyaka. One less than 50 verses here. The Kumudamāliya chapter, the 18th.